Hello fellow maidenless tarnished. Today I am making perhaps the most controversial video to date, a tier list on some of the Elden Ring characters. I made this tier list myself, and I think it came out pretty good. As always, this will be extremely objective and correct in every way possible. But nevertheless, war in the comment section is inevitable. But I'm willing to take such risk, for this video sounded really funny. So let's get the ranking. Up first is Elden Beast, because that's a character, a waifu I guess. It doesn't really have, it's God. I mean, I don't quite like Elden Beast. You know, it looks beautiful, very pretty, not very nice. Loves running away, playing a little too hard to get. I think Elden Beast is a solid like C or D tier, perhaps C tier. I don't really like Elden Beast. Elden Beast loves running away from you, and the whole shooting holy damage at you stuff is kind of rude. Um, didn't even try to talk it out. Just instantly tried to kill me. Kind of an asshole move. With God out of the way, Ranni. Ranni is an interesting one. You can have an entire ending with Ranni. She originally had red hair like Malenia, but minus the scarlet rot. Looked very similar to her before she killed herself, became a doll. She is kind of a gaslighter. You can have two different endings with her. One where she calls you fair consort, and one where she calls you dear consort. One is like a political marriage. One is where another one is where she actually loves you. I couldn't even imagine being called fair consort. That's gotta really sting. Ranni though, she has four arms. Pretty funny. She also has like the ghost protruding out of her doll body. It's weird. She was like kind of like confused as to like why you helped her. She was like, oh, okay then. She gives you a sword if you marry her. So you know that I love the Moonlight Greatsword. That's an amazing sword. So I have to put Ranni at A tier. Not quite S tier. And the only reason why she's not S tier is because she's blue. Moving on to the worst one, Fia. Fia is the character that you see at the beginning of the game as soon as you make it to the round table hold. She hugs you and steals health from you. This was one of the funniest moments I've ever seen in video games ever. Just getting a fucking hug. And Fia, she's the deathpad companion. You hug her, she gives you the debuff buff of poise, but poise is fucking useless. Why would you ever want poise? There's no real reason to do it. The entire ending with her, you don't really get the ending with her. There's a whole secret boss fight with her quest line, the Lich Dragon Vortex. One of the best bosses in the game, easily. The best soundtracks. And as a character, I don't really like her. Mizuyaki had to make her have go be barefoot, as per usual. Interesting design, really funny memes. I would say she's about C tier. She killed D, which was pretty funny. But I don't really like Fia, but at least she ain't no Elden Beast. Am I right, fellas? Up next is Queen Marika. Queen Marika, she's the entire reason you're here in the Lands Between. She gave you the grace to enter the Lands Between, and she is effectively the entire reason for why you made it to become Elden Lord. She created Melina, at least I think so. Her mother, Melina says, "My mother in the Erd Tree." That has to be Marika. There's nobody else in the Erd Tree. It's not Radagon, okay? It's not. Sure ain't Elden Beast. It has to be Marika. Marika has a whole bunch of children, two husbands, one being herself. Um, Quite a lot of baggage there. You killed all of her children, literally every single one. And well, I mean, it's pretty weird. I don't really know if I'd like Marika or not. She's pretty base though. She caused the whole shattering to happen by shattering the Elden Ring, all because she didn't want to be a slave to the Greater Will anymore, which was trying to free herself and her children, but caused her children to fight each other and kill each other. I don't really know what she was thinking. Can't really tell you the motives behind Marika other than wanting to free herself. But it's Queen Marika. How could you not put her at B tier? She has statues all over the place of herself. Up next is Hyetta, I believe. Hyetta is Iris, but they took her, the ghost took her body or something. I don't really like Hyetta. I think Hyetta is D tier easily. Yeah, Hyetta is D tier. She leads to the whole ending where she becomes your maiden if you accept the Frenzied Flame. Frenzied Flame ending is cringe. Melina tells you that do not accept the Frenzied Flame. It is very cringe, and it will only lead to death and suffering, burning everything down. And that's not very cool. Like, who would ever want to do that? Do not let chaos take the world. So up next is Irina, which is Hyetta, but before Irina becomes Hyetta, because the ghost takes her. So Irina, she barely has any screen time. Hyetta is essentially just better Irina, but I don't like Hyetta or Irina, so both D tier. Up next is S tier. Anything less is wrong, and you should feel bad, because if you put her at anything below S tier, you are wrong. Malenia is the hardest boss in Elden Ring, the strongest boss in Elden Ring. She killed so many players so many times that they caused them to maul out and say the game has bad game design, when really, Malenia is the pinnacle of boss design, and she is very tall, pretty hot, scarlet rot all over her face, arms, legs, just rotted everywhere. Yet she's still super strong. S tier easily, every day, all day. Malenia also has a really cool outfit. I like the helmet. There's a whole helmet that you got for getting the special pre-order, and the statue that you could have gotten just for a regular pre-order. The statue looks awesome. It's one of the coolest statues I've ever seen. Very detailed. Helmet was really cool. I don't have the helmet though, unfortunately. Malenia is S tier, easily. The design is probably my favorite from all the demigods, as I said. But yeah, I really like Malenia's design. Up next is the other M, Melina. Melina is the person who you play through for like 60% of the game as your maiden. She offers you an accord. She hopes you level up. She offers like very little guidance because she's not actually a maiden. She's essentially just another version of Marika, I guess, Marika's daughter. Melina, she sacrificed herself for you to become Elden Lord. So for that, she's automatically S tier. Because she's willing to sacrifice that much just so you can reach your dream. Easily one of the best. And she also closes her eye like guts, because I thought that was pretty cool. So I just now noticed that I missed one, and honestly, I might have to retire from YouTube for making this fucking stupid mistake. I forgot Sellen, which is the sorcerer that you see in a cave, not a cave, like this little underground area right in Limgrave. She has the mask on. She has a whole quest line where she will teach you stuff, and Sellen is also involved with that, where you give her a letter, introduction, she teaches you shit. Eventually, you can go to help her get back into Castle Ligaria because she was banished because she's a witch, for trying to do something with like some dark magic shit. But eventually, it leads to her taking over from Rennala, and she fights Jaren, the guy who looks like Slave Knight Gale. Yeah, but as soon as you leave, after she was victorious over doing that, she gets transformed into a ball, like those one balls that you see in like certain areas of the game. You guys know what I'm talking about. But I would probably put her in like probably C tier as well. I mean, she's not really anything special. Barefoot, so I gotta put her in C tier. I would put her in F tier for feet, but I feel like that would be probably too much. So with that egregious mistake out of the way, up next is Millicent, which is a clone of Malenia, apparently. And she doesn't have an arm, she's succumbed to the Scarlet Rot, she's just sitting there with no arm and shit, and blood all over the place. You give her a golden needle to quell the Scarlet Rot, and then you eventually find a prosthetic arm to give her,
and she does a whole quest line with Malenia to return what she gave when she fought Radon. I didn't finish the quest line, so I don't know what happens at the end. But she's pretty cool. She could fight for you, I believe, or maybe it was another clone of Melania that fights with you with the whole um, guy and the guy who waves the flag around. I'd say she's probably a solid C tier. I don't really think she's anything that special. You know, she has red hair. She's just like Melania, but not as cool. She's literally just a clone. Up next is Nephi Lu, which is the daughter of Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, and the adoptive daughter of Sir Gideon Offner. She's pretty strong. She can fuck some shit up against Godric. She becomes Lord of Stormvale later if you do her questline, which is pretty cool. I would say she's probably a solid B tier, just on that alone. Very cool. Very cool indeed. So up next is Rennala, Queen of the Full Moon, which is Ranni's mother. And she was married to Radagon, had two children. Well, three children. Rykar, Radon, and Ranni. And she got her heart broken by Radagon, the Giga Chad, and he left to go marry Marika. And she's just crying in her room and shit. She has a whole lot of baggage. I would say she's probably D tier for that. Not very not much there, except her crying to her egg and shit. Underwhelming, honestly. Up next is I forget who this is. Up next is Rodrika, which is the person who does the spirit tuning. Very useful NPC. You meet her at the right where you fight Margit at, just below that area, and she gives you a squid, which is pretty funny. She becomes friends with Hugh, the blacksmith guy. She just looks like Fia, but without being the edgy, I guess. I would say she's B tier as well. Pretty useful NPC. Up next is Raya. Raya is the end result of a horrifying experiment with Rykard and so whatever shit he was doing. She finds this out and she wants to die. She's the adoptive daughter of the castle's whatever that lady was, Tanith, and Patches loves Tanith. There's a whole lot of going on with the Volcano Manor, but she's a very cool character. She has very fucked up posture, and you were wondering why, but you learn that later because of what she is. Really, I would say she's probably a B tier as well. She's an really interesting NPC. She gives you a letter if you don't kill her, or if you kill her, you get this Shiburi's Row. Up next is Raya's snake form, immediate A tier, snake. And lastly is Latina. Latina? Latena? I don't know what the fuck her name is. I'm just gonna call her L. She's the laser snipe NPC summon. She is fucking disgusting from range. She will fuck people up. You can set her on like a tree branch, and she will destroy anything. It is insane how OP this summon is. This is one of the best summons in the game, easily. A tier for that. Honestly, I might even consider putting her at S tier. She is very good. I think Ronnie's probably like down there. Yeah. So that's my list on Elden Ring waifus. Feel free to leave your opinions down below. It's probably going to be pretty bad down there, but this is the only list that is correct. Everything else is false. Anyone putting in Ranni in S is a simp, and me putting Malenia in S, yeah, me being a simp, but in an objective manner. That's about it. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.